Episode 16, No Brainer. So, does Sonic lose his brain in this episode? Metaphorically or literally? Does someone become stupid from a ray? You know, it's always empty in Robotropolis. If Robotnik's supposed to be ruling over Robians, why don't we see any of them? Aside from one time they were in a train station. Chuck puts some papers somewhere. Sonic runs around while Sally sees him through an infrared thing, and she's mad at him for some weird reason. She's mad that he was getting chased by flying machines because he wanted a chili dog. Sally, stop talking to Sonic, seriously. All of this is just filler. Shut up already! Instead of being grateful for Sonic getting her a paper, she says he's not cool. What? And then she reads out the paper, which says cancel mission, Robotnik's new roboticizer. Chuck's paper says that when he finds out where it is, he'll let them know. Sonic tells the other robots to return to Knothole. Sonic tells the other heroes to return to Knothole while he'll run off. Snively tells the robots to replace the paper towels with soft ones as he sits in Robotnik's chair. Then Robotnik grabs him and says he's leaving to eradicate a hero on the northern frontier, and while he's away, he wants Snively to take care of things. Wait, first he was mad at Snively for sitting in his chair, or maybe this is just how he treats him normally, and then he just leaves him in charge perfectly fine to sit in his chair all he wants? Why does Robotnik himself have to go after the freedom fighters? Since when does he do that? This leaving Snively in charge thing was done much more naturally in the comic where Robotnik went to the Death Egg in Sonic's quest. So Snively was in charge of Robotropolis. And it was entertaining there, like he wanted to change the name of the place to Snivopolis, and he told the SWATbots to massage him. This is gonna be a great episode, I can already tell. Sonic sees that some people are going to be sent to a roboticizer, says the voice command that opened the doors he heard earlier, when you think it would be more like voice recognition software. And Sonic stands there like an idiot and watches someone get put into a roboticizer. Good, he actually does do something, by running around with a super speed to free everybody. The roboticizer is put offline, and Snively says, "Must I do everything?" and hurts his hand by slamming onto the chair, which is really entertaining. It's like he's relatable that way. I think I like him in this major role more than Robotnik. He's entertaining because he's not intimidating and just a tryhard. Like an actual tryhard. Well, Robotnik genuinely is intimidating. If they made an original villain and then they wasted him on being just a lackey for Eggman because Eggman's the main villain of the series, the show would have been much better if it was Snively the whole time. And here, this episode's gonna prove why. Sonic was hit with the memory scrambler, and Snively gets mad because his location is unknown, only for him to immediately find Sonic anyways. Well, that's good for cutting out filler. Does Sonic have to have weird giant pink eyes when he's lost his memory? Okay, Snively acting creepy here would immediately make Sonic run for the hills, even if he lost his memory. That's dumb, you should be creeped out by him. At least when this concept was done by Penders, Robotnik acted nice. Dulcie, who talks like she's an alcoholic, tells Sally that she can't find Sonic, and Sally gives a message to a flying bird that's interestingly not a carrier pigeon. Snively tells Sonic to go after the freedom fighters. I love that it's just Snively doing this, not Robotnik. You know, the problem with Sonic having his big eyes like this is that the hero should immediately notice them and realize something's wrong with them. So if Sonic acts weird around them, they'll all look like complete idiots and ruin the plot if they don't figure things out right away. So identification is given by some tiny robots who I assume are, yep, they're Sally and Chuck hiding in hollow machines. And for some reason they sound robotic in them. Why? Sally sees Snively joking around with Sonic, and she'll lose all credibility as a smart person if she doesn't— Oh, good, she asks, what have they done to him? And Chuck says it's some kind of mind control. Okay, so Chuck and Sally aren't brain dead. Thank you. But will the rest of Sonic's friends be? I love that Sonic ran the wrong way and Snively said, "Oh, that way!" We see Sally on Dulcie, and she's with Bunny, so Bunny has no reason to not know that Sonic is brainwashed. Then Dulcie crashes into a tree and falls because she looked over at Sally when she talked to her. Oh good, as usual, it doesn't actually matter, because Dulcie and Sally got to tell the freedom fighters what was going on anyways. When Antoine says that he always knew Sonic would cause them trouble, which is insensitive of him, Dulcie says, "Get it, Antoine!" Yes! Awesome! Thank you, Dulcie! Oh man, after the heroes leave to warn Knothole about Sonic, Tails meets up with Sonic, and he doesn't know what happened to Sonic because nobody bothered to warn Tails about him. It's sweet that Sonic still treats Tails the same, having the same personality. and tells Tails to have a fun race with him. So this is taking proper advantage of the fact that Sonic wasn't told Tails was part of the Freedom Fighters, since he's useless in the show, meaning that Sonic won't hurt Tails. But again, with the way its eyes look, you should immediately question that. Snively is entertainingly hammy by yelling at Sonic with a smile to destroy Knothole.
Snively the Great destroys Knothole!
Wait, did Sonic hear him? Because he's just having fun running after Tails, as if he's making friends with Tails for the first time all over again. It's odd that we never get to see when he first met Tails, by the way. Tails asks Sonic if he's okay because not only did he fall because he wants to take a nap. Tails says that he never takes a nap. You hear that, Sonic X? And Sonic Boom? Sonic keeps going to the wrong house, and he manipulates Tails into telling him which house is his. So, even under the effects of the Brain Scrambler, he's still smart enough to do that. Tails is a worthless idiot because he doesn't immediately figure out that Sonic lost his memory from this. Fortunately, Tails is immediately told by Dulcie, off-screen to spare us recap, that Sonic lost his memory. And since it was sweet seeing Sonic interact with Tails, I don't feel like it was totally filler. Sally sees Sonic and hears Snively saying he'll be a Knothole shortly. You know, this is way more enjoyable than when Penders did this concept in A Scrambled Hedgehog. And no, it's not like Penders never has good ideas, or does things well. Sometimes he does things better. I thought things could go either way on this. Snively says that the heroes will never know what hit them, and he tells a flying machine to land. He puts on a helmet and says that the heroes have to prepare to kiss the feet of Snively the Great.
Prepare, freedom fighters, to kiss the feet of Snively the Great!
I wish Snively replaced Robotnik forever. I never thought I could like this character, especially with his stupid voice. But I don't know. Chuck warns Dulcie and the others about Sonic being tricked, and he says that the memory scrambling is fortunately temporary and they can reverse it with a ring. 'Cause rings do that, of course. Tails flies to the Lake of Rings fast enough to grab it just in time, finally being useful. And Sally kisses Tails. Why doesn't Tails appreciate it? He wanted multiple kisses in a row from the fake Sally. And he was 10 back then too, wasn't he? He didn't mind when she kissed his cheek when he was in bed. Anyways, Antoine, Rotor, and Bunny go out of a stump with Dulcie, who insults Snively. Speaking of that stump, I really wish that they had the underground base that they got to from the Great Oak Slide in the whole series. It seems like it was just a pilot thing that's really dumb. How did they not find Knothole already? Then Snively uses the memory scrambler on Dulcie because she didn't think to beat up Snively or freeze him with ice breath before that could happen. Oh well. When Snively's bossy to Sonic saying, "No!" he doesn't get mad and turn on him. I guess that's the Brain Scrambler. Sally talks to Sonic creepily, saying in monotone that Sonic's their leader. Wait, what? I thought Sally was the leader, and that was her whole purpose on the team. Anyways, that was filler because Sally could have just given him the ring right away. He's returned to normal and Sally kisses him. Then Bunny is brainwashed as well as someone else. Antoine was smart because he tried to make Snively think he didn't need to be brainwashed by kissing his feet. I could totally imagine him sucking up to the villains instead of fighting them.
Buy it, you little twit!
However, he gets hit with it anyways, when this could have been a great opportunity for him to be useful by not being brainwashed and then surprise attacking Snively. Sonic hits Snively with the Scrambler, and some flying machines are targeting Knothole. Chuck tells them about the rodent, causing them to return to base. Then Sonic tells Snively that Robotnik is a bottom dweller, trying to turn him against Robotnik, but the Brain Scrambler is temporary. Chuck said so. It's a shame because him turning on Robotnik for a while would have been an interesting change of pace for a couple episodes. Knothole's coordinates are erased, and Snively runs at Robotnik's chest, insulting him. Then all of a sudden, Snively tells Robotnik that he can find Knothole and he can take him there. I thought he was mad at him. Robotnik makes me smile and actually giggle as he stands in place with a bunch of bees, saying, "My patience is wearing thin, Snively. Where's Knothole?" And he gets stung by a bee.
Right, Snively.
This was the first genuinely funny moment in the whole show. Although Snively as a major villain was charming as well. I think when SatAm Robotnik with his creepy voice is made the butt of a joke, it's brilliant. It works the best because it's parodying the fact that, oh, he's supposed to be so creepy and they're trying so hard, but then he gets stung by bees and led around a wild goose chase by Snively. giving us a satisfying karmatic ending to their plot, like giving him comeuppance. Wow, this was a fantastic episode. I really love this. And I don't say that often about this show. This episode did the concept of Sonic getting amnesia and being turned against his friends way better than the comic did. First of all, his amnesia actually makes sense. He was hit with a magical brain scrambler. And since it's not just a memory erasal thing, but also seems to have hypnotic effects making Snively easily brainwashed with it, it makes sense eventually that Sonic could be so easily manipulated because of it. If even Snively could be brainwashed into calling Sonic his friend, then maybe that's why Sonic didn't run away from Snively when he was being creepy introducing himself. He couldn't think straight. Speaking of thinking straight, Sally and Chuck actually do that because they figure out Sonic's under mind control right away, instead of assuming Sonic betrayed them for Snively. Thank you! Also, thank you, Dulcie, for telling Antoine to can it, when he acts like it's all Sonic's fault. I love every moment that she's sassy. It's always so surprising for a comedy character. It's kind of brilliant. And best of all, not a single one of Sonic's friends turned on Sonic in this episode. I thought Dulcie crashing into a tree branch from Sally distracting her would ruin her usefulness, but instead, she gets Sally's knothole to warn the heroes. Tails is the only one who's tricked, and the fact that he doesn't notice Sonic's eyes being different completely makes the story around that fall apart. But I guess the writer wasn't aware of that artistic choice when he wrote the episode. Fine. Anyways, Sonic's interaction with Tails is heartwarming because he still treated him like a little brother and did a race with him, all because Tails isn't acknowledged as one of the heroes he's been turned against. So for once, Tails being useless is, well, not useful because him racing Sonic didn't accomplish anything. And Tails was an idiot by not immediately figuring out Sonic lost his memory when he went to the wrong house twice. Speaking of useful though, Tails flew to the Lake of Rings fast enough to get a ring so they could restore Sonic back to normal really easily. Which is a decent way of explaining how Sonic got his memory back. Much better than Dylan giving him a head injury. I didn't like Sally creepily calling Sonic the leader though, because it's false. Robotnik had a very dumb excuse to leave Snively in charge. Since when does he personally go to confront freedom fighters in the northern border that we never get to see, by the way? Sonic's quest had a much better reason to leave Snively in charge. But either way, I love seeing Snively in charge. Even though he's a bad person, of course, he's so delightfully handy. It's creative that he's the one who turns Sonic against his friends and not Robotnik. He's arrogant and power-hungry, and he's full of emotion and laughter, instead of trying way too hard to be creepy like Robotnik. Like this is how Robotnik should be, I think. Although it's good to have them contrast each other as well. He even hurts his hand from slamming his fist imitating Robotnik, which is a brilliant piece of writing because it contrasts him from Robotnik as more of a wimp, and it's realistic that way. I never thought I could like Snively, but for one episode I did. I guess you need to see him in motion and hear how lame his voice really is, and see this episode to really get him. But episodes like this just make me hate Robotnik even more, because they really should have way more times when Snively is in charge, if he's obviously so much better of a character than Robotnik is. Hell, after this episode, I wish Robotnik got killed off or sent to another zone. But alas, that would be different from the games. That would be original and taking a risk, so we can't have that perfectly logical thing happen because of meta logic. But yeah, they basically did this kind of amnesia plot better than the comic did in every way. Because we didn't have an overly depressing, confusing story where the heroes immediately assume Sonic's evil just because he forgot how not to set off an alarm in their tunnel, and Sonic beats them all up. And we don't have this episode have Sonic believe he's Robotnik's cousin either. Which a brain scrambler really would have helped justify that.